Hey, C-Max here. Gonna do a video or maybe a couple of videos, depending on how deep I get into it, of basically how I handle brass. Now, this isn't necessarily the best way to do it. I'm actually wanting ideas. So if you've got ideas that'll make my life a little bit easier, I'd sure appreciate hearing it. I'm sure other people will as well. But if you're new to reloading and you're not sure what all you need to do, I thought this might be kind of good. How do you handle the brass? What do you do with it? Well, this is a bucket full of brass that I got from the range today. So I thought, well, let's just go through it and I'll show you how I handle it, what I use to store it, stage it, and all that kind of good stuff. This is where a lot of the knickknacks and stuff come in, which is pretty neat, especially when it's free. You know how I feel about that. All right, well, let's get started here. First thing we got to do is we've got to sort the brass. So that's when you come up with all the buckets and bins and everything, because you need to do it by caliber. So these are old gun. These are old bullets, boxes. Cut the top off, make excellent little bins. I use those. Use small bins as well. Let me back out here. There we go. Medium-sized bins, big bins, just depending on what I need. Now I've got all different types. Excuse me, but I want to say one thing. If you're going to buy plastic bins, I would recommend that you buy the type like this that'll slide into each other and stack and save space for when you're not using them. Because if you buy ones like this, they don't stack inside each other, but they're made to clip together and give you some distance from here to here. But I find that's not useful in what I do, and it just makes a little bit of storage issue. I have to find other ones to put them into, but therefore I like the style that stacks on its own. All right, well, I'm going to get started sorting the brass and we'll go from there. All right, well, we've done some sorting, and what I like to start to do is, as you pick it up, you know what you have a lot of. Like I found a pretty good bit of 223 5.56, so I decided to put them in that one, and you always get a lot of 9mm, most popular without a doubt. But what I like to do is, you've got to sort them before you tumble them. Don't try to tumble them together. They get inside each other. They create pockets. You pull them apart. Media goes everywhere. Just not a good idea. Sort them first. It's the only way to do it. So what I do is I go through and I pick the biggest ones first. So I just start grabbing the 223s out. And then you start seeing more of the 45s are easy to spot. 40, 357, and 38. The 30 and 1 carbines. The only ones that really give me a lot of trouble is 9mm and 380 auto. As you can see, that's what I have. Let me move the bucket a little bit. That's what I have here and here. What I like to do to separate those two is do them on a counter. As you can see in the bucket, most of that's 9mm and there's 380 mixed in. They're so similar, they're hard to spot, and the only real difference is, pretty much just slight length difference. But when you stand them up on their ends, you can grab several and you just start, what I do is just start putting them with the 9mm, and then all of a sudden, you'll see one you put up and, oh, it's lower. And if you're not sure, you can just feel them and you're like, oh, okay, there's a 380. And that's the easiest way that I've found to separate those. And you put them in the different bins. Then once I'm done with all the different bins, what I'll do is I'll get a piece of paper. We've got right here. I get these little notepad things from everywhere. That people give them away. It's nothing you got to buy. Go to like a business expo. You can get enough pens for a year. You can get enough pads, paper, and stuff. It'll last you a long, long time. And then I'll just write on what it is. Like, for example, I'll just put 45 ACP, and that's all I'm going to put on paper. I've got a bunch of these bags. I was fortunate, the last automobile dealership I worked at, they shipped their parts in these bags. So they're nice Ziploc bags, and they were free. So if you know me, you know I like that. So I just put the 45 in there, and then just dump it in. Okay? And then I'll do that for each one. Then what I do is I have a big box, and I'll put all those in the big box, the needs tumbling box. So then when I have a bunch of whatever, or if I need to load a certain caliber for whatever reason, I can go there, get it, and move on. But generally, you know, I'll have 4 or 5 bags like this, then I'll throw them all together, and I've got enough to do a batch. But I thought at the very beginning that, oh, okay, well, I'll just put these in the bag. I'll know they're dirty. Well, sometimes you do know, okay, the primer's still in it, so it probably hasn't been sized. But let me tell you, it gets confusing fast, and you're not going to remember. And mainly it's the sizing thing, because sometimes I'll decap them before, you know, knock the primers out of them before I tumble them. So I could have some that have no primers in them, but they haven't been tumbled. It's easier just to, every stage, let's say this was a big bag, and I just went and put them in the tumbler and got them out, then I would write on here, tumbled. Put them back in the bag, and then I'd put them in a different box. And I'll show you what those are later. Now, that one would be, you know, needs various things, is the way I've got it labeled, I think, because some of them need to be sized, some of them have been sized, but haven't been flared, and some of them are ready. And I'll explain that as I show you. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bag up the rest of these, and then I'll show you what I do next with them and how I handle them. But, you know, there's several different ways you can do it, but this has made the most sense to me, is bag them and tag them. And then there's no question later on. You can throw, okay, these have been, these haven't, and you just put them all together and do what you need to do. All right, cool. Well, let me get that taken care of and get this cleared off. We'll go to the next stage. Okay, well, I just speed up so you can see, you know, basically what I do. So I've just got a bunch of different bags with just whatever caliber it is, 223, 9mm, 45, and I'm going to put them in my needs tumbling box. So basically I just threw all these things in here. And I put it up under the bench. So I know what I got. I also keep a bag of oddball. 357 SIG, there's a 44 mag, some 38 supers. I don't have any of these, 5.7 or something. I don't have any of these, but don't throw it away because, you know, run across a buddy or somebody that can use them. So I always keep them. All right. Well, we're going to go to the next box. So basically what I would do is any of these, and really that's the only ones I've got enough to do anything with. 40 is almost a batch. 223 could be. And 9mm here is a batch. But I've got so much already processed that I'm not in any hurry to do that. But they're ready for the tumbler. So, you know, what you end up with is brass in different stages of completion. And, you know, we'll get into more of that. We'll go to the next box. The next box similar to this. Not quite as big, though. And basically, it just says tumbled, needs vary. So they're just in different stages of production. All right, I'll get that box and we'll take a look at it. Okay, this is my tumbled needs vary box. And, you know, and I might have, all right, here we have 357 tumbled size deprimed. Here we've got M1 carbine, they've been tumbled only. 40 caliber, just a few of them tumbled. They were probably mixed in with something else. Here we have 45s that are tumbled, deprimed size flared, and they're small primer 45s. Here we've got 380 that's been sized, deprimed, and flared. So they need primers and powder and such. This one is ready for powder and bullets. These are 38s. And actually, they go in another spot. And I'll show you what that is in a minute. These are usually had never staged 38s before because I usually just did a batch. 357, tumbled, deprimed, resize, flared, and primed. So in other words, they're ready. Whoop. So they're ready for powder and bullet. So they can actually be moved to the ready status. 380, just tumbled. So sometimes I'll see this and I'll grab the other 380, tumble it, and I've got a batch. But this is 357 that's tumbled. Here is a single 380 that is tumbled. You know, you'll have to go through and combine them all together. 45 tumbled, resized, deprimed, flared, but needs primers, and then it'll be ready for powder bullet. What we got here? Oh, here we go. 40 cal, tumbled, sized, deprimed, flared. So you get the idea. And, you know, you just forget. It seems like, oh, well, I'll know this. It's got a primer, so I'll know it. Trust me, you get confused. 380 auto, tumbled, sized, deprimed, flared, primed. These are ready. They are ready for powder and bullets. 45 tumbled, sized, deprimed, flared. So they need primers, and they're ready. And here we go. We've got 38s tumbled, resized, and flared. So they need primers. So you get the idea. And then I'll have a single. Here's a single 380 that is ready. And then we've got 9mm that's just been tumbled. All right. Well, I'm going to... So obviously, I would look at this, and if I felt like priming some stuff, I would go use the hand primer and prime them and get ready. You know, the 9mm stuff now is, all I have to do is tumble it with the AP press. Tumble it, and there it goes. It does everything on the machine. And man, it pumps out some ammo. It's amazing. But the other ones I still do on the single stage and on the turret press. I only have the lock and load AP press set up for 9mm. But all right, well, we're gonna go from this box, you know, to whatever press or whatever batch I'm working on. Then when they're quote ready status, so they're ready for powder bullet, then I put them over here above the computer in different containers, and I'll have to re-rig the camera to show you that. So give me a minute and I'll swing it around. Okay, I decided to bring everything over here as opposed to swinging the camera around. Once we get all the various needs done, the case is ready. What I call ready status. That means it's ready for powder and bullet. Now, the only exception, you know, and basically this whole setup is for single stage or turret, you know, not for progressive press operation. For progressive press operation, this is all you need. Just tumble. You see there, they've got the primers in there and everything. They're just tumbled, but that's all I have to do to get it through the machine. But this other stuff I like to have ready, because if I get new powder I want to try or something like that, hey, I can grab 30 rounds or whatever and put the new powder load I want to test and load them up and take them to the ranges I'm going, you know, take them to chronograph tomorrow because I'm going to the range. So at this stage, since they're quote ready, I put them in rigid containers. I don't know that you really have to, but it just seems like, you know, they're all set and done. I don't want anything crushing them or what have you. So I put them in cans as opposed to just bags or anything. So next, what I'm gonna do is we'll bring out the containers to show you what I do after the ammo is manufactured. You know, there's lots of options there. You know, you're kicking out all this ammunition. You know, what do you do with it? So that's what we'll do next. Okay, well, we've got the ammunition made. Now what do we do with it? You know, you've got several options. You can buy plastic boxes like this to put them in. These dear old dad had. I'm reusing them. This one's for rifle rounds, various lengths. That's pretty practical. But, I mean, I don't even know how old this is, and it was $1.95 back 20 years ago. Another choice that you've got is actually reloading ammunition boxes that you have, if you want to go that route. I keep some of these around, but I typically don't do that much. What I typically do is get the bags back out, and I'll put the recipe on the bag, 9mm, weight of the bullet, what it is, primer, powder, overall length, and the date. And I like to put them rather put them in boxes. This is a 30mm ammo box that I keep shotgun shells in. I've got two of these. These are 40mm ammunition boxes. I keep 7.62 by 39, which I do not reload. This is all factory in this one. And then I have one the same size with 223, 5.56. Been buying these plastic boxes. This came from Harbor Freight. If you look at their coupons, and you can find them in American Rifleman and some of the other magazines, they frequently sell these for $4.99 each. And it's the same box that Advance has, Academy Sports has, under a different label, same box, for I think $8, $9. You know, it is plastic. I prefer the metal ones, but they've gotten so expensive, it's ridiculous. Okay, well, you know, the only other really thing to talk about is inside the boxes. You know, I've got them in the bags. Some people put them in loose, just loose rounds in there, but you never really know how many you have. So I kind of like to keep an inventory. So I like the bags because I'll put 100 rounds per bag, and it's just an easy way for me to kind of know, like I got 500 in this box, 300 in it, so there's 800 9mm rounds right there. So I'd just like to have an inventory. Some people don't care. Stuff already loaded in bandoliers. Put it in there like that. Some people preload magazines and stick them in ammo cans and go. And we're actually going to do a video and get a discussion going about bandoliers or preloaded mags. It's a big debate. What's better, what's not, what do you prefer? So we're going to get in that on another video coming up shortly. I don't know when, but soon. To kind of get that discussion going. I'd like to know what y'all think of that. But that's going to wrap it up for this. Like I said, this is all geared basically to single stage or turret press type reloading, just to handle the different stages you run into by doing batches. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Y'all have a great day.